Hello everyone, welcome back to another session in dentistry and more. Today's session is about sampling, particularly the probability sampling. I'll be trying to explain the concept of each probability sampling technique. So probability sampling and non-probability sampling are the two categories of sampling. So before that, let me tell you what is a sampling. So let's assume this is our population from which we want to take the sample. Okay, this is our population and we have some 10,000 people in the population and we want to conduct a study, but the sample should be a miniature of a population and it should be just 100, just a hypothetical scenario, but this 100 should represent the 10,000. That is a concept of sampling. Okay, so sampling means it is a miniature version of population. So this is our population and this is our sample. So why we conduct sampling, or why we are making a small population out of a big population? Because of the feasibility, because it's not practically possible to conduct a study on entire population. So we want to conduct the study in a small population but with all characteristics of the original population. So coming back to the sampling, so we have basically two types of sampling technique. Like I said, one is the probability, the next one is a non-probability. So the basic difference between probability and non-probability is that the probability sampling ensures each sample represents the original population. The all 100 represents the original 10,000. That means each participant, that each person in this 10,000 has a chance or has a probability to become this 100. Okay, so it is a true representative of the original population. Whereas non-probability sampling, it doesn't have a probability. In the non-probability sampling, this 100 is not representative. This 100 is not representative of this 10,000. So definitely probability sampling is the best one. This probability is the best sampling. But many times we will be in a situation where the probability sampling is not possible. So in those times we might switch to non-probability sampling for our convenience. So we'll look into the probability sampling technique one by one. Okay, so the concept is clear, where each sampling technique ensures the true representation of the population. That means each participant or each person in the population is having a chance or is having a probability to become the sample. So we'll start with one by one. That is, the first one is simple random sampling. In short form, it is also known as SRS, simple random sampling. The second one is systematic sampling. First one is simple random sampling, then systematic sampling, not systemic sampling. Students used to mispronounce it as systemic sampling. Then we have stratified sampling. Then we have multi-phase sampling and multi-stage sampling. Then a cluster sampling. This all are probability sampling, which ensures the probability of each participant to become a sample, and it would be a representation or representative of the total, the original sample. So we'll start with the first one, that is a simple random sampling. So let me take a very small example where we have 9 people and we want to make a sample of 3. Okay, we want to take 3 people from this 9. So we want to take 3 from 9. So this 9 is our population and this 3 is our sample. Okay, so we have 9 participants here. You can see I have mentioned it as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and what we do is we randomly pick 3 participants. Okay, it can be done using many methods. The most common method is lottery method or table of random numbers. Nowadays both the methods are not being used because we have softwares and computers. It will automatically pick the random sample and it will give us the result. Before that we used to do this lottery method, and there are many table of random numbers given by Fisher's, Tippett. So using those table of random numbers, we can select a random sample from the total population. So the concept is we randomly select people by any of these methods and we get some numbers, like it could be 3, it could be 6, or it could be 7. So this 3, 6 and 7 has picked from the population very randomly. So this 3 people or the 3 samples truly representing the original population because it is picked randomly. Okay, so it can be any number, not just 3, 6 and 7. It can be 1, 4 or 5, or it can be 7, 8. So let it be any number, but it is a true representative of the original population. So it is a very easy technique, but if we have very large number, it is not an easy technique. When we have very small number, like maybe the total population is 10, 20, 30, we can do it by using a lottery method. But when we have a large number, we might need to use the softwares, but it's not an easy technique when we have a very big population. That was the first and the basic technique. So all the techniques we have from this simple random, that is a systematic or stratified, all other techniques will follow the basic technique of simple random sampling. The next one is systematic sampling. So in systematic sampling, first we need to find out sampling interval. So this is like a systematic way we are picking up the sample. So how do we go for a systematic sampling? First we need to find out the sampling interval. So sampling interval, how do we find? The formula is total sample by the sample size. So we need to pick 3 people from 9 people. So total sample is 9 and the sample size is 3. So we get 3. So this is sampling interval. Okay, this is sampling interval. So once we get the sampling interval, okay, we need to conduct a simple random sampling, that is between 1, 2 and 3. So we have, suppose we get 2 out of this 1, 2, 3. What we do? First we select the number 2. Then we add the sampling interval here. So we get 5. Then we add sampling interval, we get 8. So we will be picking the second person, the fifth person and the 8th person from 1 to 9. Okay, suppose when we are doing a simple random sampling within the sampling interval, if we get 1, the same scenario will be followed, like 1 plus 3 4, 4 plus 3 7. So we'll be picking 1 4 7 between 1 and 9, and if we get 3 within the sampling interval, that is, we are doing the basic step of simple random sampling within the sampling interval. So it will be 3 6 and 9. Okay, so 3 6 and 9 between 1 and 9. This is how we conduct systematic sampling. Okay, so first we need to find out the sampling interval, and we do simple random sampling within the sampling interval. Then we follow the sampling interval and pick up the sample. The next method is stratified sampling. Stratified sampling, when the population is not homogeneous, when we have a heterogeneous population. Heterogeneous means when the population is not having a unique characteristics, just like males and females in a classroom. Suppose we have 6 males and 6 females in a classroom, and we want to pick 3 from each. Okay, so if we have the method systematic sampling and simple random sampling, we will be picking directly from all these 12. Sometimes we get uh, and we want to find out total 6 people. Okay, 6 out of 12. Suppose if we are doing simple random sampling, there are chances we get all 6 could be male. There are chances, right? Sometimes it could be all 6 could be female, or it can be 5:1 ratio in either way, or 2:4 ratio in either way. So there are chances. So it will not represent the homogeneous population. So we want a situation where the equal representation of male and female. Okay, so there comes a stratified sampling. So first we need to divide the entire population into different strata. So we are dividing into male strata and female strata, and we are doing simple random sampling in each strata. Okay, so we'll be selecting simple random sample from the male. So we are going to select 3 people from the males. So 1 5 6 are selected, for example. Then the female 9 10 and 12. Okay, so from each strata we have taken 3, that is 3 males and 3 females, and finally we got a sample size of 6. So this is how we do stratified sampling in a condition when the population is heterogeneous. And the next sampling we have is a multi-stage sampling. So when we are doing a sampling technique in a very bigger population, a very bigger geographical area, when we have crores and crores of people, just like our country, this is how we conduct. That is, the sampling will be conducted at various stages. This is level 1, level 2, this is level 3, and level 4. Ultimately we reach our sample. Okay, so we want to, this is level 5. It can be any level depending upon the sample and the population size. So we want to select a 1 lakh people from 130 crores of people. So India has around 130 crores of people, and we want to select 1 lakh people. So it is not easy to pick 1 lakh from 130 crores. It will not represent the 130 crores. And if you do random sampling, all 1 lakh could be from one state. So there are many problems with this sampling. So what we do is, first we select the states. So India has 29 states, and we do simple random sampling within the states. And for example, we take 6 states. Okay, so it could be Kerala, it could be Punjab, it could be Haryana, it could be Madhya Pradesh, it could be Karnataka. So any 6 states we got, but we have done simple random sampling, so it maintained the probability. So it is a very good sampling because we have chosen simple random sampling at the level 1. So it representing the 29 states. These 6 states representing the 29 states. The second level, what we do is we list out all the district, could be 100 district or many more, from these 6 states. Okay, so we have listed out all the district from this 6 state, and again we do simple random sampling over this district, and we select 20 districts out of this 100. There also we maintain our simple random sampling. Okay, so it represents the 100 district. So from this 20 district, that is level 3, all the panchayats from this 20 districts being listed out, and again we do simple random sampling. So simple random sampling has been done, and from this 100 panchayats we have taken 30 panchayats. Okay, so simple random sampling is done. At level 4, what we do is from this 30 panchayat we take our ultimate sample of 1 lakh people. Okay, in this way we can say that this 1 lakh people is representative of this 130 crore people, only because we have used simple random sampling at each level. Okay, so this is how most of the national wise studies been done. Now we have a very different sampling technique, that is multi-phase sampling. This is like we have a very huge sample and we want to reduce the number by using various screening techniques and confirmatory techniques. Particularly this happens in case of a chronic disease. Okay, it's mostly done in case of tuberculosis. Let's take example of tuberculosis. So we have around 10,000 suspected tuberculosis and we want to select a very small number. Okay, some around 100. It's an assumption. So what we do here in tuberculosis, we have 10,000 suspected patient. So whole population is screened for Mantoux skin test. Okay, so we got around 1,000 positive people and all 9,000 people are excluded. So we don't want to waste 9,000 chest x-rays. Okay, so secondly we do confirmatory test on this 1,000 only. So the population is reduced to 1,000 from 10,000. Okay, so one type of test is done on entire population and another type of test is done on a subset of population. Okay, that is multiphasic sampling. So it is done by phase. So this is phase 1 where entire population is screened. Here it is phase 2 where a part of population is done, and we get an ultimate sample of 100 or any number. It's just a hypothetical example. Now we have a different sampling technique, cluster sampling. This is usually done in a geographical area where two big cities or some two big districts are undergoing a study. So what we do is we do geographical clustering. Okay, so what we do is geographic clusters we make just like this. Geographically we divide the entire district or all land area, and from each cluster we select sample. This is almost like our with sampling. This is almost like our stratified sampling, but here in clusters mostly we select geographical area, and from each geographical area we stick to some schools, some anganwadis or some hospitals. So anything from each cluster will be chosen. So that's all for now. This is completely a probability sampling concept where each level the simple random sampling will be done to maintain the representativeness of the original population with respect to the sample. So hope you understood this lecture on probability sampling. Next I'll be coming with non-probability sampling. So don't forget the basic technique of simple random sampling, then the sampling interval in systematic sampling, then the heterogeneous population where we do stratified sampling, and the different levels of sampling, that is multiphasic and multi-stagic sampling, that is a bigger land area like a country will be done under different level, and the geographical clusters. Okay, I'll come with the non-probability sampling in my next video. Thank you.